All right, when you get into online betting, that standard welcome offer you see on the front page, that's really just the beginning. Today, we're going to dig into a specific promo code for One Betting, one that's built to give new players a real leg up as we look towards 2026. So let's break down exactly how this thing works.
Okay, so if you're just starting out, this is probably the #1 question on your mind, right? How do you actually boost your starting cash to give yourself a real shot right out of the gate?
And the answer usually isn't in that big banner ad. Nope. It's almost always hidden in a specific little piece of text, a promotional code that unlocks something way better, giving you a serious advantage from day one.
All right, let's get specific. The code we're looking at today is BETHIT from 1xBet. And its whole job, its entire reason for existing, is to take that standard welcome bonus and just juice it up for new players.
So you could literally think of this code as a key. That's its only job, to unlock a better deal right at the start and give your bankroll an immediate and pretty significant boost.
So, what exactly does this key unlock? Well, it's not some one-size-fits-all thing. It actually opens up 2 totally different paths, each with its own beefed-up benefit, designed for different kinds of players.
Okay, first up for all you sports bettors. Look, the standard deal is almost always a 100% match on your first deposit. But this code, it bumps that up to a much healthier 130%.
And hey, for the casino players, this is about more than just extra cash. The code unlocks a whole package that includes up to 150 free spins. I mean, that's basically a ton of risk-free chances to hit a win.
Now here's the heads up. Getting this better offer isn't automatic. You got to follow a very specific set of steps when you sign up to make sure you actually get the full bonus.
Okay, looking at these steps, you really need to zero in on 2 and 3. First, you have to type in the code BETHIT. Then you have to actively choose if you want the sports or the casino bonus. These are the 2 critical triggers. Seriously, this is where most people mess up. If you miss either of these steps, you're probably just going to get the standard offer, which is, well, not as good.
All right, so once you've put the code in and it's active, you hit your first big decision point. Are you going for the sports bonus or the casino package? And as we're about to see, these 2 options are worlds apart in how they're structured. And this table just lays it all out perfectly. You can see the trade-offs. The absolute biggest difference here is the wagering requirement. That's how many times you have to bet the bonus money before it's actually yours to withdraw. The sports bonus has a much, much lower hurdle at just 5x. But look at the casino package. We're talking 35 to 40 times. That's a huge difference. And it's pretty much the classic dynamic you see when comparing sports and casino bonuses. So the key takeaway here is really understanding this wagering hurdle. Think of it as the obstacle course you have to run to turn that bonus money into real, withdrawable cash. For sports, it's a shorter course, but it's full of very specific, tricky obstacles. For the casino, it's more of a marathon, a much longer path, but the steps are a bit more straightforward.
And here are those tricky obstacles for the sports bonus. You can't just go and place any old bet. No, it has to be an accumulator, which is just a fancy way of saying a bet that links a bunch of different outcomes together. Now, why do they do this? Simple. Accumulators are way harder to win, so it's how the platform protects itself from just handing out free money. These rules, they are set in stone.
Okay, so beyond those big headline rules, there's always some fine print, right? And there are a few more details hiding in there that you absolutely need to know before you pick a path.
So if you decide to go the casino route, this chart is everything. It shows you that pretty much only your bets on slot machines will count 100% towards clearing that massive wagering requirement. See that little bar for table games like blackjack? It contributes next to nothing. And you might ask why? Well, it's because slots have a higher built-in advantage for the house, so they're basically pushing you to play the games where their odds are better. Simple as that.
Look, getting a handle on all these strategies and rules is great, but now we have to take a step back and talk about the single most important rule of all, one that applies to any kind of betting, anywhere. It's the principle that should be behind every single click you make.
So, just to be super clear, everything we've talked about today is for informational purposes only. You got to be over 18, you're responsible for knowing and following your local laws, and most importantly, if gambling ever stops being fun, you need to seek help.
So with all the facts laid out, the real question isn't just which bonus is bigger, it's which challenge actually fits my style, right? Are you the kind of person who likes to be a strategist, carefully navigating those tight, tricky sports rules for a shot at a faster payout? Or are you more of an endurance player, preferring the straightforward grind of the casino bonus for that different kind of reward? The choice ultimately is all yours.